let me tell y'all something. I was going to work, great employee, team player, peacemaker, that person who's always, in charge, positive, upbeat, get along with everybody, make good money. That was me at my job, right? But the thing about it was, I was also unfulfilled at that job. I also grew to feel like a robot, like I was just clocking in, clocking out, clocking in, clocking out, just going, at one point, feeling like I was just going to make the check, to be honest with you. This is when I started praying. I have a very deep relationship with God. And so I just went to him honest. I said, God, I know I know what you put in me from a child. I know who I am. I believe I know what you've called me to do. I believe I know what my purpose is on this earth. But for some reason, I keep allowing myself to be a slave to money. For some reason, I keep making myself and forcing myself to be in environments that is no longer serving me, except on one level, just a financial level, but not serving me spiritually, not serving me mentally, not serving me emotionally. And so I don't want to keep getting paid, financially, but starving myself spiritually and emotionally and mentally. And I was like, I love taking care of people. The people that I work with ain't too bad, but it's still something more. It's still something else I know I'm supposed to be doing. There's just something more I know I'm supposed to be doing in my life. And so this is when God brought me to the concept of what he defines as work and what man defines as work. There's a difference when God calls you to a work and when you call yourself to a job, or when man call you to a job, or when man creates a job for you to work. There's a difference in the work that God called you to do and then having a job, if that makes sense. Because God can call you to a work that don't require you to go and clock into a job in order to make a living for yourself. For example, you may be a YouTuber who has been called to a work, living in your purpose, working in your purpose as a YouTuber, and you may make $1 million a year. And based on societal standards, that's not a job per se, so that's you working in your work, working in your purpose that God has called you to do for that, for that season. And that's really not a job. That's working in your purpose, because you your own boss. You're not going clocking in to anyone. You're not answering to anyone basically but God, and just helping the people that he placed you on a path to help. And y'all got to excuse me, I've started driving, so I won't be able to look at the camera. But basically that's the path that God put me on. And so I started praying and digging, going through the Bible and researching and reading Genesis, when he placed Adam in the garden, when he placed Adam on earth and told Adam to basically work the earth, to work the ground. And there was no man over Adam except for God. God placed Adam on the earth, and he also told us to have, dominion over the earth, to take care of the earth and everything in it. And so basically that was the first type of work that God called us to do. And, jobs developed because of mankind, just advancing technology and stuff like that. And then basically needing humans to work in factories and needing humans to do the jobs for the economy, basically. So that's how jobs basically came into play. But the original work is the work that God called you to do. The original work is the work that God called me to do. And that may or may not be going to somebody's job. So this is basically what the video was about. A lot of times we cause ourselves unhappiness, and a lot of times we cause ourselves dissatisfaction and unfulfillment because we be too focused working on man's job instead of working on the work and the purpose that God called us to do, while we're here on this earth. And so that's what causes us to feel like we're a slave to money. We're a slave to, going to clock into these jobs, and we aren't happy on the jobs because we're neglecting the work that God called us to do. And so it'll stay like that. It'll be like that until we really start to work in our purpose. And that's what happened with me last year. I started working in my purpose, and I started building my own business alongside of, you know, working a 9-to-5. And so eventually I was able to leave the 9-to-5 and I've been on an entrepreneurship journey ever since. And yes, it's harder. I will admit that it's a lot harder than working a 9-to-5. But spiritually, mentally, emotionally, it's way better. To me, honestly, it's way better than a 9-to-5, because I honestly feel like I'm working in my purpose, serving people, helping people feel confident through my clothing brand, helping people feel confident knowing that they can make money. I've never ever imagined that I would be doing clothing brand consultations and helping people learn how to day trade and helping people learn about the stock market, just everything entrepreneurship. And I believe that I wouldn't have learned that until I had left my 9-to-5. And this is not a video telling you to leave your 9-to-5, because once again, your purpose could be tied into your 9-to-5. But this is just a video letting you guys know to not only seek a 9-to-5 and not, you know, to not neglect your work that God have called you to. But y'all, my arm hurting. I'm trying to drive and hold this camera up at the same time. But if you like this video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and just leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the topic and what you want more of. And I'll see you in the next video.